AI doesn't know shit, man. AI actually reads Reddit. And get it.
That was annoying.
Right?
The people on the podcast don't know about the whole Mexican radio ocho thing. They're just going to be like, Gene had an aneurysm.
Ocho. Now they do.
During the beginning of the show.
Live from Tijuana.
Yeah, live from Tijuana. You got your, everybody, we got you with the margaritas. Come on, burrito, taco, chimichanga.
This has gotta flag YouTube.
Already, dude, I was recommended fishing with Hitler on my YouTube feed. I was like, yes, really. I mean, if you're gonna for that show alone,
I will say this: Timcast is now partnering with who's the other guys on YouTube? The Rumble.
Which one?
Rumble.
Okay, Rumble. Yes,
El Rumbolo. And so now that he's got a good deal worked out with them where they're paying him, his last episode, boy, did he trash YouTube, talking about how they could have been the place for video podcasting. And they've completely threw it away and shot themselves in the foot. And it, kind of starting when Rogan left, but they were, not only did they not fight to keep him from Spotify and keep him on YouTube, but they were trying to get rid of a lot of people that were Rogan-like. And
anybody that had more of a conservative bent.
And so, he's still on there. He's still on YouTube, but he is, at this point, I think he's kind of like, I don't give a shit. He's trashing the hell out of them. He's literally just telling people, open up a browser window, go here, and then turn off YouTube.
Nice. Well, it's interesting. You're listening to Unrelenting. I'm Darren O'Neill. He's Gene of Doodliff.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
And I just turned your EQ off too because you were sounding a little off. I think we turned it on because you didn't have any. Really? Remember when your Motu crashed?
Oh yeah.
So
okay, I should have EQ.
So now you sound better without the EQ on this end. So I saw an article yesterday that YouTube put out their latest demographic information and all that. And for the first time, more people are watching on televisions than mobile phones, which I am still trying to wrap my head around. So there's a big movement for the people that are finally getting around to what I've always done with YouTube, which is mainly watch it on the couch through the Roku or whatever your Apple TV, whatever your mileage may vary.
I mean, it sounds like that's the case, but I'll tell you what it actually is. The demographic that watches by using their phones has all left YouTube, and
they're TikTokers now.
TikTok,
they can only handle 15-second videos.
Yeah, and they're not like teens. These are people up until about 30 years old right now, but they're not on YouTube. They have no interest in YouTube.
Our buddy Net in the troll room says the pool boy's a douche, and YouTube on a TV sucks. Too many ads. See, Gene and I are dumb. We actually pay the nice folks over at YouTube, like what, $17.99 a month?
It's gone up quite a bit. It started at $12.
Yeah, but no ads. So
now 18.
It makes it a heck of a lot better because I couldn't watch it. It's
impossible.
The last straw, and I'm with you, Net, because the last straw for me, and the choice was either going to be never watch YouTube again or pay, because I was watching one of your buddy, Brian Brushwood, one of his episodes, which was like an 18-minute episode, and there were like 2 or 3 ad breaks.
Yep.
Like, no, not going to deal with that.
I know. Crazy.
It is not any fun. Well, happy Valentine's Day, Gene. You doing anything special today?
No.
All the guys out there that forgot it was Valentine's Day are now running.
I'm sure there'll be some kind of Valentine's Day event in the video games I play. That's about it.
What kind of Valentine's Day event is there in Star Citizen? Hello, citizen. Would you like to buy a special red spaceship for an extra $10,000?
That's literally it. You nailed it. You nailed it. That's exactly what happens. So, hey, you get a 20% discount on the special pink paint for your spaceship.
Nothing gayer than a pink spaceship.
Well, in the game, that's 90% men. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have pink spaceships. They have Hello Kitty spaceships, in fact.
Yeah. Okay. I think, again, this has gone from not.
Yeah. I don't have one, but they made them. They're like available and stuff.
You thought about it, though, because you're a completist. You're like, well,
I am a completionist.
You're like, it would go with my pretty pony ship, but
no, it clashes.
Oh,
you've got the mauve versus the pink. It ain't gonna work.
A lot of people don't know Sir Gene's a brony. I do have the pew pew thing set up today, which means it won't make any noise because
good.
If I set it up correctly,
then it should be quiet all time.
Only a boost of 10,000 sats or more.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Should set off Bill O'Reilly saying it's unrelenting. And if that happens, since that is about a $10 boost, then we will immediately stop the show and talk about whatever it is in your boost.
Maybe.
But I think it's going to be quiet.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it'll. Yeah.
I don't believe anybody's actually going to boost. Although there were a couple of boosts between shows, including one from our buddy Speedy Bubble, who came in with his patented 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I like.
Oh, that's what that was. I was like, what does that 6,000 sat number mean?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, well, I forgot that you get half of that. Goddamn taxes.
It's the Darren O tax. He says, okay, since CSB doesn't want to donate anymore, this one is on behalf of CBS. Specifically, Nora O'Donnell. I'm pretty sure she'd love your podcast. Hell yeah. I bet she listens. I mean, she would get more news on this show than you would on CBS. So thank you, Speedy Bubble. And thank you to Dale Jr. This guy is like a podcasting listening legend. And he listens to my other shows. A Big Planet Rage fan, listens to Random Thoughts. And he came in with a 10,000 Satoshi boost and said, hey, I had a couple of spots open in my listening schedule and decided to give this a listen. I have to admit, some of the discussion was over my head, but I enjoyed it anyway.
I don't know what that means because we're running at about a 5th grade level right now. So,
like when you...
how many grades did you complete, man?
He says, we'll definitely listen to some more episodes. I did not finish, but I got very close to getting my degree at DePaul, which I'm kind of excited that Donald Trump, one of the things they were talking about was like USA University will accept all credits from all colleges. And so I don't know, maybe if I'm just bored, I could finish and get my bachelor's and finally have the degree. Yeah. And just do it online.
You know what? It's really funny because we're definitely running out of 6th grade education here because you didn't get your bachelor's.
No.
Darren didn't get
Darren, another Darren, and the other Darren.
Darren and the other Darren, brother Darren. Ben didn't get his bachelor's, and I didn't get my bachelor's.
See, people are now like, we're hanging up. None of these guys even
no, college. They don't know shit. They don't know shit. Hey, I went to school for 7 years though.
Hey, baby. Okay, and see, that shouldn't be setting it off.
No, let's pretend I didn't. I went to school for 7 years, so I figured that's worth a lot.
7 years of college?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Philosophy.
Oh, well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So basically, I would need to get a PhD. I mean, a bachelor of philosophy means nothing, so you pretty much have to get a PhD. And I was just taking classes not in the order you need to graduate.
Oh.
But in the order of, I like this professor, I don't like this professor.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did too.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Okay, maybe
what was
it was
your major?
It was communications. So I did take a couple of journalism classes, public speaking, all that kind of stuff.
I think Ben was Latin.
Oh, I took 2 years of Latin in high school.
That's insane.
I think I may have fixed this now. See, I had set the custom pew, but it was in a different browser, so that maybe that is what did it.
That sound was also at about double the volume of your voice.
Let's see here. Boosting. That was Ned, though. He just says, I love Unboosted with Poncho and Left Eye. Well, yeah, that's all I got.
I like that too. That's a good one.
So you can.
What time zone's he in? Is he? I thought he was Canadian.
He's Detroit, man, which is very close to Canada.
Okay, so it's basically Canada.
They're very close.
Give us the lowdown there next time you boost from what's going on across the border. If they're picketing the bridges again, or
so what you and I and dude named
prevent
Ben
trucks from going back and forth
should really be doing is giving out degrees, because we don't have any. So we should create the unrelenting degree.
There you go.
We see all this stuff.
Makes
it's
total
like
sense.
We're working on the fly here. So thanks for helping us test that out, Ned.
Mm-hmm.
Ned says he has about 5 years of college and also no bachelor's. He's like, I do have 2 associates, though. That doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like having a double Nicole birthday. I mean,
I found that if you look at history, the people that made the most impact tended to be college dropouts, meaning they had enough ability and intellect to get past high school and into college, but not enough interest to focus on something as mundane as a degree, and then were instead working on doing something.
Right. Well, once you realize the bullshit that they were putting you through for no apparent reason except to take your money, people don't come out of college educated overall.
No.
Now, if you're a doctor,
you need at least 10 years of philosophy to do that.
I mean, you do. You need tons. You're a very philosophical guy.
Yeah.
It is the magic of the.
I did start off on a much more practical path. I was an economics major when I came in, and I was. In fact, I think I mentioned it on my other podcast.
How many do you have, Gene?
Just the good old boys. Really kind of 2.5, because the half I haven't put out an episode in probably about a year. So I'm still paying for the hosting.
That's a bit of a hiatus. Yeah.
It's definitely a bit in a hiatus, but I do the weeklies with Ben, so that's good.
Is our Polish buddy still giving money to your solo show, or doesn't he think that exists because it's not a real podcast? If there's only one voice.
No, I don't get any money on that podcast, but it's all right.
This is really, it's interesting because it's like everybody in the Troll Omega Project. He said it took him 8 years and 4 schools, but he got his master's. So, I mean, there
you go. Yeah.
You did a lot better than us.
I think if somebody actually went through and figured out, like, I could probably get my bachelor's with a quarter worth of classes, and I could probably get a master's with about 3/4 worth of classes. So it's one of them things. I assume these things don't expire either, but who the hell knows? And also, I'm not really particularly interested in going to school.
No, it was one of these things, though, where it's like, well, if you're going to do online classes, and they're as easy as online classes usually are, and I can just go, doot, 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 okay, graduated.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it works. Donald Trump is changing the world.
I do brilliant classes. You know what brilliant is, right? You've seen the ads for it.
I don't think I have.
Really? I'm surprised you haven't seen ads. They're not like ads.
Where would I see ads?
They're not so much ads as they're sponsorships. A lot of YouTube channels that I watch that are scientific based tend to advertise Brilliant. Brilliant is a website for learning things in a interesting, different way than you would be taught in school. So I think their target audience is actually people like us, but potentially at any age. But let's say that you were never really particularly clear on calculus when you went to school, but you somehow managed to copy enough assignments from other people to pass.
Allegedly,
right? You could actually take a classes on calculus and brilliant, and it's self-paced, obviously, and so you could do as much or as little, but they're all gamified, so that there's both encouragements to you, and answering one question leads kind of to the next follow question, so they're all sort of connected in a way that school tests tend not to be. They're just random. So their goal is to get you to learn, not to pass a test that says you're going to be a good worker ant.
Right. Ned says, I've done shit on Brilliant before. Obviously, it was a creative writing class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
But that's how I've always been. Through my biggest problem when it came to the education system was everything up through high school was easy enough to where very little effort was needed. So getting to college just made it nearly impossible to try to care. It's like I'd go into class, couldn't even keep my eyes open. But on the other side of that, you put me in front of a computer and go, hey, learn COBOL. I'd be like, whoa, this is interesting. There's a reason for this. This is so it
would use a better example than COBOL, but okay.
I know. Well, something that would keep your interest. Back then it was Pascal and even basic.
Punch cards.
Now
I'm gonna have to take lunch off and do this.
We gotta program the computer. Gonna need some hanging Chad protection. Just the way it works. But that was it. If I was interested in it, then there was no problem. The time flies. Hours would go by and be like, wow. But you're like, hey, read Shakespeare. I'd be like, nope.
Oh, Shakespeare's not boring, man. It's actually very good writing compared to the crap we have in Hollywood.
Now here we get to the segment where Gene espouses on Shakespeare.
So Brilliant pays $25 a head for affiliate stuff. I'm just checking right now in real time.
Oh, well, this explains why.
I wonder if we can sign up while we're talking.
Right. We're bringing people right now. Can we get the coupon code?
I mean, we are pushing Brilliant no matter what here. So
it's like you're already doing a commercial for them.
I know, right? No, let's see. What are we? Entertainment? Fashion? Fitness? What are we?
Fishing with Gadgets? Hitler.
Gaming. We're just gonna
Yes,
the Fishing with Hitler podcast brought to you by Brilliant.org.
Yes, they would love it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yes, yeah, I should totally send them the last episode.
And even the artwork on that, I was kind of surprised YouTube didn't just go, It was beautiful though.
Yeah. It's something else.
That it is.
For sure. Oh God. Yeah, it's but I will say that I do like the site, and it has a large number of topics to cover, but what I was surprised by was by how long the classes are.
Now, is this are the classes
positively surprised
presented by if you and I wanted to do a class?
It's all cartoon characters.
What? So it's all
yeah.
So it's not a thing like what there was another.
There's
site.
No human talking. That's the beauty of it. Is you don't have to memorize anything. You're basically just working through problems in whatever the topic is with the use of cartoon drawn,
So this isn't figures. Like Udemy where everybody's like, I want to have a class.
No. No, this is I think much better. Because
I would agree. I mean, the Udemy thing.
Yeah.
People realized really quick nobody was going to pay for shit, that most people were going to go to YouTube and do for free there. So you can't do a class and charge on a platform if somebody's doing the same thing and giving it away free on a different platform.
Yeah. Well, and I don't remember how much this thing costs, but it was, it's pretty cheap, all said and done. Especially if you buy a whole year in advance.
Well, that's how they get you.
But it's also on a lot of different topics. Calculus is literally one of them. That's in there that I noticed. But there's a ton of different topics that you can take classes on. But what I'm saying is the classes are long, meaning like normally in the website, if they've got a little training thing, let's say for programming or something, it's going to take you maybe 15, 20 minutes to go through it. And then you're kind of done and you have to go to a different topic. This thing goes on for hours and hours and hours on a single topic for like until you really got it totally down. So it is more in depth than I was expecting. I was expecting a little more, just surface level knowledge, but it actually has a lot more than that, which is good.
If you want to learn, the internet's the place to be.
Dude named Ben's doing Spanish.
Oh, hola.
He's now done, I think, I don't remember the exact number, but something like 250 days in a row. Because they track like how often you do it.
Chingado.
And so, yeah, there you go.
And
so he's, he took Spanish in high school, actually, along with Latin, but he's redoing Spanish for whatever reason.
Because
maybe he wants to go down south.
I wouldn't go to Mexico, man. Dangerous. Go to Spain. Way better.
No. Go to Colombia.
Well,
beautiful down there.
Better than Mexico. Probably safer than Mexico right now.
It is safer in Mexico. Absolutely.
And then if you have any problems in, so say a bunch of, of the bad guys, the banditos in Colombia surround you and they're really about to just close on in. Just yell out Nevtuliev and they run.
Yeah.
They've heard the name of the white devil.
Confuse them? They're like, how do you spell that?
Yes, exactly. I don't know. Do you know? And you sit around for a long time.
Nobody knows.
Certainly, Mofo also says Chile is nice.
Chile, I think the issue with Chile is most of it is very high.
In the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're all smoking weed.
No. I mean, I don't think they are smoking weed, but yeah, Chile's supposed to be pretty good. They do dual citizenship with the U.S.
Well, it's one of the places that actually has a capitalist system that, unlike some of these other Southern American.
And you're right next door to a country with no extradition, so it's perfect.
Well, for some of us, that we find that to be more interesting than others.
That's the main thing people are after, of course, I would know.
Yeah, just in case you've really screwed things up in the United States.
Yeah.
You want a no extradition country.
So Snowden might be getting a pardon here soon.
Well, if Tulsi liked him, she's got the ear of the Donald. And it's an interesting thing to see how people are split upon what he did. Because it's the epitome of a story that you understand that things are not exactly black and white, because the case can be made that what he did put lives in danger, and it did. But on the other side of that, the case can be made that corruption was being exposed.
I don't understand why putting lives in danger is a problem.
Well, it all depends whose lives are in danger.
We do that every day by driving on the road.
Well, it depends, how you drive, I suppose. I just stay in my house.
No,
I do
not necessarily even how you drive, how other people drive.
I have a fully safe room here with like 18-inch steel walls. And I just go in there and I just curl up into the fetal position.
I hope you got at least a half inch of lead there.
Well, if you have to, in case there's a nuclear blast.
Right.
It is a classic whistleblower, said
And
DJ
remember,
Guru.
You could get your EMP shield using the discount code SIRGENE.
Yeah. You have to. Everywhere you go, just put in coupon code SURGING.
Yeah. It'll work more than you think.
Well, yeah, because you've signed up for everything. Everything.
How's that Coke U10 going? We might have a discount for that soon, too.
Oh, I just took some before the show.
Yeah, perfect.
Took some before the show. And the nice thing is, for everything Gene forgot to sign up for, I just sign up under the coupon code Sir Gene. So
that's right.
Just
with your mailing, yeah.
Right. So the checks come to me, everything works out.
Yeah. Well, I sign up for everything under GOB. So
good old boys.
Yeah, good old boys.
Now that Grumpy Old Ben's is still on kind of hiatus.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah,
Never heard of that.
Hey, we had a Christmas show, man. It was a great show, but it is Valentine's Day now. So
it is. Yeah. Good.
And I tell you, I got so lucky that my dad, his birthday is on Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
Which means for the wife, sure, when we first started, I mean, this was it. Like our first Valentine's Day dating.
You went to your dad's house?
No, we went to the top of the John Hancock, the 95th, the expensive restaurant downtown Chirac before you would get shot just for going down there.
Yeah.
But it was really much,
I've been there.
It was downhill from there. The Valentine's Days got very much pedestrian from there. It's well, it's Dad's birthday. Come on.
It's a made-up holiday anyway. It's
True.
Invented by Hallmark. We know this historically. John C. Dvorak's done a whole number on this.
Well, he just does not love.
Well, he's been successfully living in a different state from his wife for 25 years. So.
He's got it figured out.
He does have it figured out.
The best way to a successful marriage is two homes.
I might have still been married if I figured
different
that
states.
I was married.
The phone is turned off in the drawer. That helps too.
Yep. He's got it down.
Why aren't you picking up my calls? I don't know. Phone was in the drawer.
Yeah, phone's been in the drawer. Haven't charged it for 2 years.
Will it still charge? I don't know. Will it blend?
It is a flip phone. I was looking at flip phones the other day on Amazon, and I'm very disappointed because almost all the flip phones are called something like Jitterbug or Old Man Phone or
right. Well, that's the overall demographic.
Where's my pacemaker phone?
Right. Well, that's the overall
their names
demographic.
are actually insults.
Yeah. Well, they don't know because they're mainly Chinese companies. At least they're a little better than the obvious made-up names that you get. And
on Amazon?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. I saw a whole video explaining why they do it. But it's one of those.
What was it?
It's
What's the answer?
It's something to do with trademark and there was a whole, I don't remember every little detail.
So that some sun phone isn't good?
Maybe not.
SOME?
Sumi.
Some.
It's the Sumi phone.
Sumi?
Yeah, when it blows up in your pocket, it's the Sumi phone.
Yeah. Or the Toyama car. Those are always good.
There's not a big business. And it shows you again where we are as a society. There is a huge demand for the latest Android phone, the latest Apple phone, both of which are beautiful spy devices. They got your GPS. They want to be your always-on assistant. So everything you see, they're see
listening,
everything you hear.
They're watching everything you do. They're listening to everything you do.
And it tells you this, and that's
Yeah. They charge more for that feature.
The nefarious part is that people don't realize how that could backfire on them. There's a huge demand for those devices. But the simple telephone, and I think those flip phone style cheap ass, they should cost you like $15 without any kind of contract, would be perfect for people to give their fucking kids rather than a smartphone where it's like, well, here's your phone. You can send a text. You can make a phone call. That's all you can do. So for this whole, what if little Jimmy has an emergency? Well, here you go. You can call. You don't need the internet access and all of the apps for an emergency.
Like with a phone?
Yeah, with a phone.
So in Cyberpunk 2077 video game.
Yeah.
One of the
where Gene's life exists is more in a video game.
Video games are life. What are you talking about?
Hey.
Anyway, in there's a mission, an event that the character has to go to contact a sleeper agent in a part of a city, and after like 7 years of him being deep cover, and the way that she has to do it is by using a landline, and she looks at it and is trying to figure out, there's buttons you can press and stuff, and she enters the number, and then she has no idea what to do with the handset.
It's confusing.
Like you're just holding it, and then Johnny Silverhands, who's played by Keanu Reeves.
Ah, good old Johnny Silverhands.
Yeah, he does video games these days because they pay better.
Yeah, it's more fun, and you could probably work from home. Put a whisper room in.
There is no. Are you kidding? No, you definitely don't work from home. It's exactly the same thing as making movies right now. You're working in a huge green screen with a bunch of white dots all over your face and body, wearing a unitard. And,
it's more okay. So he's providing more than his voice for the video game.
Yeah, that's how all games are made now.
All games. Now, in this game, do you have a sushi guy? I just want to know how realistic the game is.
Absolutely.
So it's like that's one of the things you can do. It's one of the
one of the first things in the game, in fact, is you're meeting your buddy that you're going to go rob somebody with at a sushi place right outside the building.
I mean, I love that there was an episode of Frasier where they get into the world of underground sushi, which I'm like, this is like Gene. This is his life.
I've actually found a very good, in fact, I might order from them today, a very, very good, not technically sushi, but a, what do they call it? What's the Hawaiian sushi thing called?
Poi poi?
No, not poi. Jesus.
Very close to sushi.
It's basically sushi, but Hawaiian style. But it is really freaking tasty, because I've been to a bunch of sushi places here, and there is a couple of staples that I like, a couple of good places, but they're also mucho expensivo.
It is poke.
Yeah, poke, that's the word. Yeah. I figured somebody would chime in with it.
NetNed was first. Omega Project very close behind.
Yeah. Good.
And DigiGuru just said Tulsi sushi, which is not.
I'd go for that.
Yeah. Probably be very tasty.
But yeah, this place is quite good. And they ran a 2-for-1 deal, which you got to love those.
Yeah. Nothing says quality sushi like 2-for-1 offers.
Well, yeah. So instead of spending $120, you're spending $60. Pretty good deal.
Not like it's about to spoil or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. They open at noon. I'm going to have to selectively order this for after we're done. Oh, they got $8 off now.
Ooh, $8 off. They deliver right to your door.
That's not as good a deal.
Wow. Well, you got everybody all excited
for sushi. Yeah. Well, for poke rather.
It is Valentine's Day, though, so let's also understand that.
Let's not give a shit, because it doesn't really matter.
The companies are like, we are not giving you deals because we think people are buying the stuff. They'll pay more for Valentine's Day.
A pokerito, because this is Austin.
A pokerito?
A pokerito.
Now, is that a burrito with poke, or is that a margarita with poke in it?
It's a seaweed or hot Cheeto wrap with white rice and poke inside.
I mean, you can make anything into a burrito.
Pretty much.
I did see a YouTube video a couple of weeks ago from a Mexican chef from a local burrito joint here in Chirac, and he went around with this other dude just to like 4 or 5 different burrito joints that had different specialties and how they do things in a little bit of a different way. And it's like, you can make anything a burrito. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I guess it's what kind of burrito do you usually get?
I am partial to chorizo.
Okay.
So
that's right.
either chorizo and steak, but every now and then chorizo and egg.
I've had those recently. My favorite currently, because I don't know if I've just never noticed these or if they just started making them in the last year, is a brisket.
Oh, the birria, the Mexican brisket,
so the meat is brisket, which is so good.
Yeah, well, a lot of time the birria is goat, which is like a goat brisket, which is still freaking awesome.
Yeah, I just don't like to pick bones out of my burritos.
They do that for you. You got a guy that does that.
No, nobody does that. If you order goat, always expect it to come with bone in.
The birria, which is the kind of, it's like at first when I had it, I was like, wow, this kind of seems like pot roast, which was very close to that kind of a texture. But it was great. I mean, they simmer it pretty much for like 24 hours and the magical spices.
Yeah, it's still not enough to dissolve the bones, man.
The birria tacos are just delicious.
You
got to try something different. I have not yet. I mean, people swear by them. They say they're great. Never had the lengua, the tongue tacos.
I'm not a fan of tongue. My mom used to cook that, and I just never understood why.
You're like, well, there's way better cuts of meat. And I understand it's cheaper.
Like a tenderloin. Yeah. Hello.
She's like, give me filet mignon.
Jesus Christ. Why would you ever eat a tongue?
Well,
it's literally one of the most used muscles in the body. It's not going to be tender.
They were forced to back in the day. Their choices were limited, and I understand that, and I applaud them for making the best that they could of the nasty bits, as Anthony Bourdain used to call them.
The ribs are a much better nasty bit than the tongue.
Oh, well, ribs are freaking awesome. Ribs are delightful. Little burned ends, even just boom.
Oh, that's mostly what I get. Just the burned ends.
You're like, this is just so good. Though. So bad for you, but so good.
Dude, you know how expensive that shit is here now?
No, how much?
I know we've talked regularly about cost of things going up.
Well,
so last time I went to the rib place.
Like, what are eggs now in Austin? But
$10. $10 minimum.
There are some that are up to 12 here, which is just like go to a different store.
Egg. I know. And I routinely used to buy eggs for $1 a dozen.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, because chickens poop them out no matter what.
Well, the wife at the village here, because there are areas that are unincorporated. The people in the unincorporated areas are getting very interested in having chicken coops now.
There's a video that Nick Frijola, it's something like that, put out. He's a congressman up in Virginia. A very good guy. He's funny and very conservative. But he just did this sort of comedy video bit about chickens or eggs, and he says, for those of you that are city folk and you want to come out here and get some chicken eggs, you gotta learn the lingo. You gotta understand what they're actually called, because you don't use words like doesn't. The cops know exactly what that means if you use the word doesn't. And so he's doing like a chicken version of a drug buy kind of a thing, where he's got all kinds of different code words for, how many different eggs you want, if you want the white ones or the brown ones or whatever. So it's hilarious. And the guy is a congressman, which makes it more fun.
Gene only goes with the brown eggs. They have to be free range.
You're absolutely correct in that. I only get the brown free range eggs. Yep.
Looking at the prices here from Ex-Senator Barbecue, it's been way too long since we got ribs from this place. It's a little shack on the side of the road in a questionable area, which is really where you get your best ribs. I think we've talked about that before. The thicker the bulletproof glass is here in Chicago,
yeah, the better it is.
The better the ribs are going to be.
Well, the good thing about rib places is you can generally tell if they're going to be good or not by the smell of the smoke on the outside before you walk in.
Oh, yeah. You should be able to pick it up at least a block away, if not more. And interestingly enough, they don't have the menu on their website. So the prices probably are varying.
Yeah. So the place that's convenient that I've brought people to a lot of times when they're in Austin, because it's one of the larger barbecue joints, because the smaller ones, like, you got to stand in line for an hour, and fuck that. but this one's a little bigger.
Wait, you don't have a guy to stand in line for you?
No, not for barbecue, but it's Black's over on the south side here, just like I am in Austin.
Wait, the place is called Black's.
Black's Barbecue. It's actually called something else, but he's basically like the wayward son of the Black's Barbecue family that's actually about an hour south of here. And he went off and started his own restaurant and sort of competing against the family now.
Oh,
which is pretty funny.
You turned against the family.
So I think they had a segment on them in Barbecue Wars in the TV show. Anyway, so their brisket is good. I would say it's a good 8 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's readily available and it's good enough. And when I first moved to Austin, first time I went there, I was somewhat surprised at how expensive the brisket was, given that it's a place you basically stand in line with a tray and you tell them what you want and they'll give you the little plate of it. So it's a buffet, right? But it's not like an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's a line buffet where you go through and order the stuff you want. Do you want the cream corn? Do you want the, whatever else you want? I just get the cream corn. I don't know what else people get. And then the price back then, when I first moved here 15 years ago now, was $17 a pound. And I was like, Jesus, for brisket? That seems excessive. I mean, given that I'm paying back then, $27 a pound for filet mignon, for tenderloin. And, but you don't eat brisket that often, so screw it. Fine.
Or do you?
Do you know what it is now?
For pound of brisket?
Yeah. So it's when I moved here 15 years ago, it was $18 a pound for brisket, which seemed high.
Then it's got to be 45 now.
Yeah, it's very good. It's 47 right now. $47 a pound for brisket. Same restaurant.
Well, this I only guessed because I just did an episode of Random Thoughts. Because people were talking.
Very good show.
Including the great Bill O'Reilly.
It's not
thank you.
A podcast because it only has one person talking, but it's a good show.
It's a delightful show. And I wanted to see how much Disney World had gone up. And the last time the wife and I went was 15 years ago. Stayed at the Grand Floridian, had the dining package, had the park hopper, 7-day vacation with an 8-day park hopper pass. 15 years ago when we went, it was $2,900 and something. The same thing now is $9,100.
Oh, yeah. 91. Oh my God.
Tripled. A little over tripled. So that's why I'm like, well, if you're saying the brisket was 17, it's got to be over doubled.
I think tripling in price in 15 years is some of the highest inflation that we've ever had. But to be fair, most of that happened in the last 5 years. So it started kind of when Trump's last year. But
the spending with the COVIDs and boom, everything started getting out of control.
And nothing ever went back down. Nothing.
No, and it won't until competition comes back. So I don't believe the people that are like, well, restaurants are never going to bring prices down. Well, here's the thing. If you're a barbecue joint and the barbecue joint down the street is equal quality of yours and they go, hey, well, prices came down for our source, so we're going to bring our prices down 20%. Well, they're going to take all the business. So capitalism works because you can't, as long as somebody is willing to undercut you, which is always, there's always somebody willing to undercut the prices will regulate back down. The concept that they're never going to go back down, I don't buy. The same thing with Disney World. I think Disney World, if they look around and nobody's in the park and nobody's in the restaurants and nobody is in the hotels, they go, guess we got to lower the price.
Property finally. Exactly. Yeah, I think there are certain things. Well, the prices for them have also obviously risen. So there is some point to which they can't drop back down.
Right.
But competition will take care of that. So if somebody starts to just outprice themselves, their number of patronage would go down, and they may end up going out of business because they have no good choice. They can't drop the prices to increase the patronage high enough simply because they their costs are too high, and they may not have enough patrons to pay the bills just from a total amount of money coming in standpoint, at which they'll end up having to shut down. I personally think that if Disney ends up in bankruptcy, that will be a good thing for America, because they are one of the most evil companies in the world. Not because the pedophilia that they support, which is part of it certainly, but because they have created an absolutely horrible image that, and really their image and stories they're selling to little girls about being princesses that has ruined women in America.
You think that's the Disney princess effect, not TikTok?
Absolutely. It's a combination of Disney and shitty parenting.
Well, yes.
Back in my day, parents used to, slap kids around when they did something bad.
Yeah, June
not only does that not happen anymore.
Playing hockey, bleeding on the carpet. You got smacked around. Stop bleeding on the carpet.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to bleed on the carpet, and you're going to really feel like you're going to bleed soon here.
I'll give you a reason to bleed.
I'll give you something to bleed about. Exactly. If your parents didn't physically beat you, that means they didn't love you.
That's true. There has to be at least the threat. And that may be enough for some kids.
Sure. But if you never got spanked, you never got slapped, you never got anything physical, that literally just means they don't love you enough.
And it's interesting to see, and I don't know.
Which is why you're paying for therapy right now.
If all of the videos are legit, but you see the ones now of the people that are shoplifting and getting caught who are like so surprised.
Yeah.
What? We've been doing this for years.
Yeah, exactly. They're bitching about things that they were cheating and lying about being shut down.
Just looked up here. I can get at my local grocery store, the local Meijer, a certified Angus beef brisket, whole brisket for $4.29 a pound. About 11 pounds would be $47. That's not too bad then.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but still, $47 for a brisket.
Yeah. It's I suspect the price of brisket, like raw brisket, is also a little higher here in Austin as well. But it's still what you're paying for is the going rate. Which, good luck finding brisket in Austin cheaper than $47 a pound.
Right.
You're not going to find it.
I just looked up, which the other day I bought 2 packs of 2 dozen eggs, and they were at $8.69, which for what everybody else is paying, not a bad deal. That is now up to $11.09. I looked back last year, early last year. The 2 dozen pack was $3.69.
Wow.
So he went up from $3.69 to $11. It's insane.
Yep. Yeah.
A dozen eggs, though, still $5.99, which seems a lot better than most places at this point.
Yeah, that's about 2/3 of what you'd be paying here. That's for sure.
Large brown eggs, $5.99.
Mm-hmm.
The organic eggs, 18 count, $7.99. Doesn't seem bad for organic eggs. I'm looking for the most expensive eggs. They probably hide those towards the bottom. They know this guy don't buy those. I'm not buying into that scam. No, none of them are all that bad. I mean, by comparison, none of them are all that bad. The cage-free extra large organic, $5.99.
What's the most expensive eggs that you can find here?
The free range dozen at $7.49 appears to be the most. Besides, for at least for a 1 dozen.
So cheap.
Yeah, no, you should get all your eggs here in this.
Oh my God, who would have thunk it? In Illinois.
Oh, this is it's 18 free range. at $8.99. So yeah, still the 12.
Oh wow.
You can get bargains here on eggs. Come to if you're in Texas, come to Chicago, buy a couple dozen eggs. You'll need an egg guy. You just need an egg guy like Kramer and Newman with the mail truck. You just need guys to get a bunch of eggs and drive them down your way.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, see, import eggs. You could be the egg guy. When I was growing up, we had an egg guy. And I know it sounds like I grew up in the 1950s. But there was a delivery, like weekly, maybe, I think it was, which was milk and eggs, like any of your dairy products. They still did, the drop-off delivery. It's like that was days gone by, I guess.
I'm trying to remember. I know we had a ice cream truck that drove by when I was a kid. Schwann's. It was actually technically just frozen food, but mostly people bought ice cream from it. And it would just drive down the street and then stop at people's houses. Everybody just came out and bought their fresh delivered ice cream. So here in the store that is it, like if I want to buy something a little more exotic than what HEB sells, I would go to Central Market.
Ooh, a little more
which
exotic.
is owned by HEB.
So it all works out. They're taking your money no matter what.
It's all HEB. It's all HEB. So my Central Market pasture raised large brown eggs are currently $13.30 a dozen.
Wow. Hey, if you can beat that, boost us with over 10,000 sats just because I want to see if it works. And somebody
that's just over $1 an egg. So it's $1.10 per egg. Literally, it's $1.10 per egg. Yeah.
Also send in like 100 sat boost too. I want to see if the thing's still
now the ones I get are not that expensive. The ones I get is Central Market organic pasture raised large brown eggs, which are only $10.81 a dozen.
What is up the most out of all the? I mean, eggs do seem to be the by far the thing that has.
I think eggs went up the most because they're not light. They're fairly heavy. They have a shelf life.
They killed a bunch of birds.
But it doesn't matter, dude, because new birds get pooped out literally every day. They can replace all the chickens in about 30 days.
That's what they're going to do. And then the prices are going to come down. They're going to be beautiful prices. You're not going to believe the prices you're paying.
The other thing is, remember, the dollar has been inflated, which means that really, if we look at the inflation calculator and we put in $13 for a dozen eggs today, that'll come out to like $3 15 years ago.
I thought you were going to say 15 days ago.
Yeah, well, the way things are going right now. And I love all the liberals tweeting now how, the economy sucks worse than ever under Trump. Look at my prices are going up, not down.
Yeah, it wasn't
Trump
Biden's
didn't do
fault.
shit. It's all his fault.
Not Biden's fault at all.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Oh, besides
Trump was the president before and Trump's the president after, and it's all his fault.
I like that the Obama bros were on a podcast and we're like, we're pissed. You could do this? We would have loved to have done some of this stuff Trump is doing to get efficiency back in the government. And then you see people are pulling out. That's the one beautiful thing of the internet is you're seeing, which I believe is real video, not AI, of Bill Clinton, of Obama, saying that we need to rein in spending. We need to get the government more efficient. This shows you that the left today is the type of folks that no matter what Donald Trump does, it's wrong. He could find the fucking cure to heart disease, to cancer. He could save puppies and children, and they're going to say it's bad.
So last thing on eggs, the cheapest dozen eggs that I have in this store is for Dutch Farms, grade A, extra large eggs. These are not organic, not free range, not anything. They're not even brown.
Your basics.
Just your basic white eggs. They are $4.65 a dozen. That's the starting point, and it only goes up after that.
Well, I think that's cheaper than our lowest. So, I mean, it's interesting.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, they even come in a completely non-earth friendly styrofoam container.
I love those. They're great.
They don't come in the super earth friendly clear plastic container that you can see all the eggs through.
Although the nice thing about seeing them now is you can see how many are broken.
That's the point. Yeah.
And I do have to thank Scott Gorman, who started a new $10 a month donation through PayPal and came in with $10. Nice. Our whole show is a donation segment. That's the beautiful thing of this.
Yeah. Well, when we're done with donations, you'll start hearing music.
Right. You got Scott Gorman, a Speedy Bubble, Dale Jr., all like $10 or more. This is a beautiful thing. This is CSB. Mm-hmm. I know you're listening live and going, they don't like me anymore. That's what a real
No. He knows you hate him. He knows you hate him.
He's like he put something, I don't remember even what he posted, and I responded with a Kojak meme. Oh my goodness, who remembers Kojak? Telly Savalas with
Who loves you, baby?
Right. And he responded back with, not you.
Yeah, not you. That's good. That's good.
There's nothing but love, CSB.
Uh-huh.
He's an interesting character.
It's called BDSM love, the way that Darren does it.
Well, on Valentine's Day, sometimes whips and chains and handcuffs just come in handy. What you like.
The thing your wife doesn't care what you do with your listeners.
Right. She's like, just leave me out of it. It's the way it goes.
Yeah, she's like, oh, thank God I don't have to be involved in this shit.
Yep. Does not listen to the podcast. She claims she gets the 24/7 live feed. So,
I could see that.
But it's so entertaining. I don't understand. If you want to help support this show, unrelenting.show/donate, do it. Or boost if you're in a podcasting 2.0 app. If you have something boost really important.
PayPal, it's the best kind of boost.
Is it though? I mean,
yeah.
It takes more. It's easier.
It's the kind of boost where occasionally I get a transfer of it. That's the best kind of boost.
You're still getting the transfer here. That's why that's the one downfall still of this boost tracker. When somebody boosts, it now splits it on my device between my wallet and your wallet. So it still shows up as two boosts, even though it's one boost just to two people. But you still have it. You've got it building up, man. You have got a crypto nest egg building up right here on my Raspberry Pi. So if my Raspberry Pi
right up until you steal it, I know. It's all good.
I mean, steal is such a strong word for something that's in my possession.
You're right. Your Raspberry will just magically break one day. That's usually how it goes.
I'm reclaiming my time. That's all I'm doing. We have the Sir G wallet.
We should probably talk a little politics too. But like, I am still, given that we're in the middle of the second month, incredibly impressed at the speed of effort coming out of the Trump train.
Well, he's doing what he said he wanted to do.
It's amazing. And somebody explained it. Well, in fact, what's his name? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. explained it. He said that he observed, because he's been hanging out with Trump now for 6 months, he observed that when Trump is out on the campaign trail and he talked about a new topic that he hadn't previously mentioned, he basically made another promise, right? So he talked about we're gonna have the best playgrounds for kids of any country, that kind of thing. He actually writes it down on a Post-it note.
Well, which is good, because otherwise you would never remember.
He'd forget, right? So he wrote it down on a Post-it note, and then in the airplane they had a Post-it note wall where all those Post-it notes were, stuck to, and when Trump finally got elected, he had somebody go through and take every single Post-it note and convert it into the form of an executive order. So he's literally going off of the promises that he thought of in real time while he was campaigning. And then each one of those became an executive order.
Hey, if
which is really cool
on tips has gone through, then I don't even have to worry about paying tax, because all I get is tips.
Exactly. That's why you don't take that money out until that goes through.
Yes. No. Oh no, taxes on tips. That's what this is. Tips.
Tip account, tip jar. It's always said, hey, just give us a tip. That's how we work.
Tip it on in.
And Yeah, and it beats the system that every other politician uses, which is say shit, don't remember what you said.
Right.
Doesn't matter anyway, you're not going to do it.
Well, I think this shows that we have a president, finally, one, who can answer questions, which is nice. Two, wants to get stuff done. We've seen for the last few decades, didn't matter which side was in the office, there wasn't a whole lot getting done. And it is a rarity now in our type of politics in the United States for the president, the House, and the Senate all to be under the control of the same party. Because if it's not, as you know, getting any laws passed, nearly impossible, because you need the Senate and the House. You need a majority in both to pass.
It happens every 16 years. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, and Obama squandered his.
Yeah.
For all the people that are like, oh no, Roe versus Wade. Like, why didn't Obama codify it?
They all squander them. Bush squandered his.
Yeah, but not DJT. This man is on a mission. He's like an MMA fighter. He's like, bam. I'm going in. I am going to punch people in the face. And I'm
like the guy who wants to go fishing with Hitler?
Right. He wants to go fishing with Hitler, get stuff done. He calls up his buddy Putin and says, hey, here's what we're going to do. And Putin says, okay. Had a beautiful phone call with Putin. Perfect phone call. We're trading Joe Biden for some hostages. I don't know, something crazy.
Exactly.
Like, Joe, we need you to get on this plane. We're sending you on vacation.
Yes. Notice they didn't say who they shipped over.
Yes. He just said we didn't give up much, which makes sense. It was Joe Biden.
We knew who we got back. We're not talking about who we shipped over.
Who we gave up. O'Reilly had a name. And again, it was some guy that was allegedly one of these guys that facilitated money laundering and all that. I can get you the name, but
he worked for U.S. government, huh?
Probably. But not in the efficiency department. That
no.
That's a completely different.
No. The Ukraine department's usually who handles that.
Well, yeah, I mean they have to. That's where all the money goes, and then we don't know where the money goes. It comes right back into the Biden, into his
it's
bank
the Biden
account.
family, Clinton family retirement fund. Yeah,
it's amazing how it all works out.
Because what's her name? Apparently, Chelsea Clinton's getting paid like $86 million salary out of AID or USAID or whatever.
Well, of course.
I mean, there's insane amounts of money they're finding.
You know, Pelosi's kids. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not just the Democrats who put their kids into into these cushy jobs.
Yeah, it's also the rhinos. Absolutely.
It's like, this is the issue. We need...
Mitt Romney's kids are in there. They're working in the whole Ukraine angle.
It's like we need to bring back sanity. And that's...
Well, what this is going to do, finally, it appears, is it's going to really make it obvious that this is Trump's third term.
Well,
because he won the last one and he was prevented from actually executing it.
The prisoner that was swapped out, according to Bill O'Reilly, DigiGuru's favorite, was Alexander Vinnick.
Oh, that was really? They shipped him back?
That is according to Bill O'Reilly to get this latest guy.
The guy who allegedly is not in the CIA.
Right. The one that was just allegedly, not bad at all over in Russia. A computer expert, crypto operator, money laundering, cybercrime. And so, was arrested for laundering between $4 and $9 billion through Bitcoin. That's nothing.
Yeah.
In May of 2024, Vinnick pleaded guilty to conspiracy theory. Well, I guess that prison term didn't last for a long time. He was swapped for Mark Vogel, an American teacher who had been detained in Russia on drug charges.
Yes, a teacher. Yes, let's keep calling him that.
And again, this was a case of, he brought in drugs. We knew he brought in drugs. It's kind of like the Brittany Griner thing.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want about Russia, but if the reality of the situation is, you can't bring marijuana or whatever the drug was into Russia, if you're caught doing it, the people are like, oh, big deal, are the same ones that are screaming about migrants in this country. So it's like you're not understanding the hypocrisy there.
Well, there's a number of factors. First of all, if you're financially successful enough, like that dude Brittany Griner was, you don't need to bring that shit in with you.
Right, you should just get
at the hotel from the valet.
Right, once you're in the country,
literally, you're inside. You can buy it there. Although I will say, pot is not particularly popular in Russia.
Well, maybe people are like you. The DNA it doesn't do anything for them. They're like, what is this?
I never thought of that. That's interesting.
The Russians might not. They're like, vodka. The weed might do nothing. The vodka is what they get off on.
Yeah, well, the vodka doesn't do much either. So
see, there you go. Maybe, but the brisket and the caviar and the poke.
They don't really. Well, they do eat brisket, but it's not. It's like boiled, not barbecued in Russia. Hey, I've been playing a video game lately, shocker.
Wait, really? No.
Called Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I was going to say, is this where you deliver other people's food to them in a video game while waiting for somebody in real life to deliver food to you?
Yeah, kind of.
That's like the most. That would be the most meta game ever. I want to see that in like
delivery game, like you're an Uber driver in the video game.
Like I want to see that in like an Idiocracy kind of movie or television.
That would be hilarious because a lot of people would play that. Well, I already played American Truck Sim. So
well, yeah. Now you have Illinois. I mean, did you drive by my house?
Yes, I sent you the link. Illinois is coming. It's not out yet, but it's coming.
I want you to drive right through beautiful Mokina, Illinois.
Probably is there a big highway nearby? That's going to be the big
I-80, baby. I could walk to I-80.
How far out from I-80 are you?
A couple of miles.
Because my road, not my house, but my road that I'm on is in American Truck Sim. It's literally I can start driving in Austin from about a mile away from my house in the game.
Do you somehow forget that you're driving in reality when you're out on the actual roads, and if like 6 hours later you're in a different state and you're like, oh shit, I'm in my car?
I'll tell you what does happen is when I'm driving the car, I take wider and more careful turns than I ever have in my entire life.
From playing the truck game?
From playing the video game, which is, So I think if I played like a racing sim, that would be dangerous.
Probably.
But playing a truck sim, I'm actually a safer driver as a result of that.
The NASCAR boys are coming to your way, but in a couple of weeks down Dakota again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Beautiful Coda. Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah. It's a neat, I've been there a few times. It's a neat place. It only has one good place for viewing, which is crazy expensive. You can get tickets for anywhere around the track, but there's one area where you're down from the straightaway, which looks really good.
Yeah, I noticed the tickets for the Chicago street race are way down in price. So obviously, same thing. Supply and demand. You can actually go attend both races and sit in the best seats that aren't like the boxes with the food and the booze.
Yeah,
for like $400 or $500 for both races together, which isn't bad for Chicago for anything right now.
I guess.
Of course, you might get shot. There's that.
I wonder how much parking is in Chicago.
$8,000. So getting into the event.
That sounds about right, because I remember the first time that I drove to Chicago, like didn't fly, but drove out there. I was shocked, and this would be in the early 90s. I was shocked that the parking was $40.
Yeah, overnight?
No.
For 1 hour.
Yeah. To go eat at a restaurant. Now, granted, it was a good steakhouse.
Well,
downtown,
there you go.
But that was like way more than any parking in Minneapolis at the time. It's probably the highest parking back then would have been $20. Now, when I moved from Dallas to Austin, I noticed that the Dallas $20 a month per hour parking, which seemed crazy expensive, was nothing compared to Austin's $50 per hour parking 15 years ago.
I'm asking the Perplexity AI. New York City has the highest rates for short-term parking, with some garages charging over $40 for just 1 hour. Woo!
That's not high. Chicago's was higher than that. I bet you New York. I'm going to be in New York in a couple of months here, and I think I'll see how much parking is. I'll bet you I'll find a place that's pushing $100.
Yeah, the 4 highest cities on the parking cost: New York, Boston, San Francisco, and yes, Chicago.
Yeah.
And then Seattle.
Yep.
If you want to go Bemrose.
And Seattle and San Francisco, I've been to more recently. I can definitely verify that those are crazy expensive. New York, it's been a long time since I've been out there. And Chicago, it's been a long time since I've been out there. And Boston has been... When's I in Boston last? I think I was there about 17 years ago last for a project. You remember the little dog, artificial dog company out there? Boston Dynamics?
No.
Oh. Robot dog?
No, I know Sony made a robot. I'm sure there were other people making it.
Seriously, you don't know who Boston Dynamics is?
No.
Okay. Oh, never mind then.
Indianapolis, you can park for 3 hours for $2.
Yeah. That sounds about.
El Paso, Texas, $2 for 3 hours. Woo!
El Paso, yes. Makes total sense.
I'm just an asshole in El Paso.
Mm-hmm. El Paseo.
El Paso?
You know, it's funny. A city called El Paso, and they have a border crossing problem.
Just come right on in.
Literally called El Paso.
You would think that would be why. You might want to change your name to Get the Fuck Outo.
How about a No Paso?
No Pass. That's even better. Let's make shirts and hats. That would be great.
No Paso?
No Paso.
Mm-hmm.
And have like a wall up.
Yeah.
It would work.
I think it's pretty funny. So we're almost done with Community. Because remember, I think you and I were talking about it that got me to get Dude Named Ben watching it.
Yeah, because you had to get through Community before we could get
so season
into,
5. There's 6 seasons. Yeah. 6 seasons. We're on 5. I think both of us are right now. And that's the last decent season. I think
was that the one where Subway was everywhere, or was that 4?
No, that was 3. 3 was Subway was everywhere. They paid for the show. And then 4 was that was the one where Chevy Chase was only in 2 episodes.
Yeah, where he obviously had a fight with the producer of the show.
Nobody liked him, apparently. I've heard this from a number of different people working on shows he was on or movies he was on. Apparently, he's a total dick.
Yeah, but he's good at it.
He is good at it. I had to explain to Dude Named Ben that Chevy Chase having a fall in every season of Community was something for those of us are like you and my age.
No, he didn't know it was a reference to Saturday Night Live.
He had no idea that he was on Saturday Night Live at all.
What?
And he didn't know that he fell on Saturday Night Live.
And it was a Gerald Ford bit. That was always what Saturday Night Live was, him playing Gerald Ford.
Well, it wasn't just that. I mean, he literally had to contractually fall in every episode of Saturday Night Live. There was something. It sometimes it was the cold opener where he would fall. Sometimes it was a bit. Sometimes it was. I remember one time he was on a ladder, like changing a bulb in the NBC studios or something, and the ladder fell. I mean, like his whole thing, his shtick was falling.
That last
and
one
so when they did that in Community, yeah, I know, right? It's because he's a dick. When they did that in Community, I thought, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. That's hilarious. But apparently to people a little bit younger, there's like, they had no idea.
They don't pick up all the little
no, and
breadcrumbs.
But Ben did say accurately, he says, I never watched this when it was actually on because I just got out of college when that happened. And I would not have thought that this show was funny when I just got out of college. And I think he's right, because the humor in the show is even though it takes place in a college. And the characters, some of them are younger, some of them are a little older, but the humor is really Gen X humor, which makes total sense because the guy that made the show, whose name I'm forgetting right now,
Harmon, right? Something
Harmon, yes, yeah.
Ken
He
Harmon or
is
something.
literally the same age as the South Park guys, who are also the same age as you and I. So he is, I think, 53 right now. And so this is all humor of our generation. And I can totally see how a guy like dude named Ben, who is, the next generation, who's almost 20 years younger,
who's clueless.
Like that, he would not have thought the show was funny until he got to be in his 30s. That's when the show humor started making sense.
The show within the show, the Troy and Abed.
In the morning.
Yes. I was thinking, I'm thinking it's like, wait, that's No Agenda, but no.
That's where No Agenda got it. Yeah, I think so.
Troy and Abed in the morning. How you doing, everybody? There's a lot of meta stuff in that show.
I love the fact that in season 5, they revealed that Troy actually got their special handshake that they use with the tapping on the chest off of a podcast that he watched, where a guy suggested that this is something cool you could do with your friends.
Yeah.
It's like that's the thing. That show has so many different levels of meta. And that's why I think it is one of the best comedies that was ever on TV this century. There's some other ones last century that were very good, but this century, I think Community is one of the best because it is a show by somebody of our age bracket, generation, humor, whatever you want to call it. It has a lot of that same South Park mentality, and it has a self-referential thing that I think honestly the no generation has done self-referential the way that Gen X has.
It was just great casting too. Ken Jeong as the Mexican Spanish teacher.
The Spanish teacher. Yeah.
Thought that was fantastic.
That guy, I still don't understand how he went to medical school.
How he got through medical school.
Like he was a practicing physician.
Was he a dentist or was he a physician or dentist?
No, he was a physician. He was just your regular, main doctor guy before he became an actor. And you imagine going to him as your doctor?
Hopefully you didn't have anything deadly because he would probably still be like, hey, make you laugh.
Well, yeah, like cancer.
Hey, yeah, you do it, everybody.
It's a funny topic, man, that whole cancer thing. The thing.
He did begin pursue acting as a sophomore at Duke. Interesting. He considered majoring in drama while still continuing his pre-med coursework.
Well, yes, he had Asian parents. That's the thing.
Well, there you go.
And they're not afraid to spank their kids. Let me tell you that.
That's how you turn out right.
Physical violence. That's how you turn out right. So there's a good show title right there.
Would you beat your kids?
Let's just try and get a title that gets YouTube to cancel us.
He was several years as a physician of internal medicine at a Kaiser Permanente hospital.
That's right. I remember that.
Funny dude.
His wife is still a doctor, though. So
well, that's good. So there's something to fall back on.
Well, I think that's the only way that he was allowed to actually pursue comedy. Is
his wife is Tran Ho.
Yeah, Tran Ho
is a Vietnamese American and a family physician.
Yeah, I know these things. I don't have to look them up. I have it locked away right here in this lockbox that I'm pointing at.
Tran Ho. Now that
Tran Ho
is an interesting name.
Why is that interesting? That's a very traditional, typical Vietnamese name.
Yeah. In America, it means a little something different.
Does it, though?
I think so.
Yeah. Like what?
Like a Tran Ho.
I don't. I don't think that's a thing anymore. Trump had an executive order.
Oh, well, that's true. Wiped right out. The blue hairs are screaming.
Gone.
Do you think John C. Dvorak has a valid postulation that the blue hair dye causes brain damage?
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. I think, look, we don't know if there's a causal effect, but it definitely is. There's a, what's the word? I don't have my B12 yet.
Oh, you better get the B12.
Yeah. It's a.
You might want to double up for a while.
When those both things are present, but you don't know if one's causing the other.
Right. Just because it's like that doesn't mean it caused it.
Right. But
causation.
Luckily for us, what?
Causation.
Yeah, the other one. That's why I said it didn't cause it. It's the other
no causation without representation, Gene.
Exactly. But luckily for us, much like other things in nature, like if they're poisonous, they're usually red. It is a good self-indicator that if somebody has blue hair, that they are mentally unstable.
Well, and the interesting thing is, it's the people with the blue hair. It's the people who are obviously men dressed up as women or vice versa. That when they get noticed, scream that you notice them. It's like you're doing everything within your power to stand out from the norm. Then you are pretending that you are outraged when somebody actually notices what you did. It's so disingenuous. Oh, yeah, they're posting in the troll room. Adam Curry was on Rogan again.
Oh, really?
3 hours and 6 minutes just dropped yesterday.
Oh, nice. I will have to watch that.
Okay, what speed are you watching a 3.5 or a 3 hour and 6 minute Rogan episode at? Are you doing 2.0?
No, Rogan, I watched it usually at 1.5x. If Ben Shapiro's on, I'll watch it at 1x.
Well, yeah, we almost have to slow it down.
I can get Shapiro at 1x. That's fine. Okay, folks.
He is the 2.5x right out of the box.
I remember the first time that No Agenda played a Ben Shapiro clip, probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Do you remember when they played it?
And
what was the clip about?
And I was like, what? There's something screwed up. This is too fast.
Yeah, what's wrong with the audio?
To actually slow the show down.
Nobody really talks that fast. What's wrong with the audio? Slow that audio down. There's something wrong with this guy. He can't talk that fast. Nobody talks that fast. Nobody will ever talk that fast. But yes, Ben Shapiro talks that fast.
He's very efficient. The whole family talks like that. The best episode I've ever seen was the cartoon thing that one Catholic dude does.
The cartoon thing that one Catholic
tunes.
guy does.
What is that show? People know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
But he had an episode of Freedom Tunes. Freedom Tunes is the cartoons that he does there on YouTube.
I've never heard of Freedom Tunes.
He had an episode. You've never really?
No.
Okay. Go into the YouTube website and type in the following.
The website, Boomer?
It has to be the website. You type in HTTP.
What's that?
S.
Where do I type that?
: and then another slash and then www.
What's that stand for?
YouTube.
Like it just the letter U?
/AOL.
You?
Okay.
Tubi.
So,
Cotton Gin's never heard of Freedom Tunes either. So right there with you, brother.
Yeah, well, you should definitely have heard of it, especially being Catholic and all.
I am a good Catholic boy. He has 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, most of his cartoons are funny. Some of them are a little too on the nose, which makes them less funny. But specifically, search for Freedom Tunes, Ben Shapiro, Thanksgiving. It has got to be one of the best, funniest episodes that he's ever done, and so captures Ben Shapiro.
7 years ago. You are going back.
Yeah. Ben Shapiro thing. And Ben actually did a reaction video to it, which was pretty funny.
Which is interesting because
you go ahead and watch it now. I'll wait.
Yeah, I'm listening to it right now and I'm seeing it.
Okay, good. Well, I'm not seeing it or hearing it. You're not piping the audio in correctly.
Well, no, because we're not piping the audio in. Although I could, because
you could. Totally.
Are we going to get?
No, it's fair use. Total fair use on YouTube.
Because the beauty is, we have.
If you do another YouTube on YouTube, you're good.
No, I'm just saying because we've got the thing ready for the boost. That's the only reason why anything's ready to pipe.
Oh well, perfect. So you're all ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
It's worth playing a little clip of. Because if we're not a clip show, we're not a real podcast.
Like,
no,
you're born this way.
Yeah,
I need to turn off the.
Your family.
Wow.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, folks, who made these cranberries? Honestly, these are the worst cranberries I've ever tasted. I made them, and it's actually extremely impolite for you to insult my cooking on Thanksgiving, okay, folks? Our taste buds don't care about your feelings, okay? Okay, gang, well, if you want to make your own cranberries, feel free, but you're not entitled to free food, and the idea that you would complain over quality of service when you're receiving it for free is just ridiculous, okay? Okay, could somebody please pass the mashed potatoes, folks? Actually, these are my mashed potatoes, okay? I made them myself, and they're therefore the product of my own labor. And the idea that you feel it's acceptable to put a gun to my head and force me not only to give you the mashed potatoes, but to actually have me pass them to you.
Now, for some reason, I'm getting a little bit of a like a slap.
It sounds great on this end, but that's probably sufficient enough in length
for people to understand.
The thing that watching it adds to it, of course, is that listening, you hear one voice that sounds like Ben Shapiro. Watching it, this is a table full of like 12 people that all have Ben Shapiro's face, but different bodies, and half of them are female. And they all have the same voice, and so this is them talking to each other at Thanksgiving dinner. If you like Ben Shapiro, or you think he's funny, or you like cartoons, definitely check this out. And like I said, your 3 AOL keywords for this are Freedom Tunes, Ben Shapiro, and Thanksgiving.
The troll room is saying this is the worst episode of this show that's ever been done. So we are doing something right.
Yeah, well, the money coming in says otherwise. So that just shows you how dumb the troll room is.
That's okay. You're turning into a Democrat.
That'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
That will happen. Yeah, this is the most supported show we've had in a long time, which...
oh, hell yeah. I think every episode ought to be like this.
No, I want to know...
more clips we need. We need more clips, otherwise it's not a real podcast.
We started with the Mexican radio bit. So here was Adam doing the Mexican radio bit. But here's the interesting thing. At the end of this, I think he turns Irish. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
Hola, hola, hola. Oche, Pedro Sanchez here in the morning with you.
In the morning with you. All of a sudden
he does.
He goes from...
he slips into an Irish accent. Yeah.
Like, wait, this was a great
Pedro O'Toole.
Yes. It's like Pedro Sanchez turned right into Pedro O'Toole. I'm like, well, you can't unhear that once you hear it.
It's there. It's absolutely there.
It's right there.
Oh, it's so funny. You know, I accidentally sent a link to a video to Adam that I was meaning to send to Dude Named Ben. And the reason that it's funny is because the video is the music video to the song. Let me pull it up here.
Gene pulls up a YouTube page while you wait.
It's in real time. It's the song called "The Loophole" by Garfunkel and Oates. Have y'all seen Garfunkel and Oates? Do you know who I'm talking about? And have you heard the song "The Loophole"?
Aren't they like a comedy thing?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I mean, I know. Again, I just remember that when I first heard of these people, I'm like, oh, they want to be like Hall and Oates and and Garfunkel. There's a mix up of all those names.
Yeah, no. They are a musical comedy duo.
Much like Brian Bemrose and the Bemrosettes.
No. But they are, well, used to be. They're not actually, I don't think they're together anymore. But they were very funny. And I say that, because they're both women. And the song, "The Loophole," is a song about Christian girls who stay virgins until they're married, but have anal sex.
Wait, and you accidentally sent this
I accidentally
to Adam
sent
Curry
this to
instead of
Adam.
Ben?
Uh-huh.
There's nothing accidental about sending that
No, it's
video.
completely accidental, middle of the night, message that I was telling Ben about this song because Ben was telling me about, well, I shouldn't get into it. That's for him to discuss. But anyway,
Whoa.
I thought, oh, there's a song about this, Ben. And so I sent
Why was
him.
Ben interested in this concept?
You can ask Ben. Ben
Well,
still listens to this show, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be saying, I can't believe you talked about this on our show next time.
Yeah, Ben, we need a boost or we need a donation.
Yeah, Ben, I don't think Darren knows you're alive anymore. He needs proof of life in the form of money.
Yeah, I mean, he never asked me to donate to your show. So, I mean, there's that.
Oh, we're doing good. We're fine.
You're well above water.
I mean, we get monthly donations. We don't get one-offs for $1.
Less when it was that other 3-letter agency guy.
Uh-huh. So anyway, I sending this accidentally to Adam.
I can now the reaction would be.
Have you looked it up on YouTube? Look up The Loophole on
I'm looking
YouTube.
up a lot on YouTube today.
There's a lot of this show brought to you by YouTube. Wish we were getting paid by them.
Yeah, they've got the cash. By Garfunkel and Oates 11 years ago. See, Gene, the only thing he can reference are things that happened at least a decade ago.
No short-term memory whatsoever. All I have is long-term, guys.
That's all that's left.
That's all. It's a cute video. It's a funny song. And it's absolutely based in reality.
I'm with you. Oh, yeah, I've seen these. Both these chicks have been in multiple
They're both
things.
actresses as well.
Yes.
And they were also in what are the two Australian guys that had the music comedy show on HBO for a while?
I don't know. I don't watch HBO.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You know who I'm talking about. Come on, listener dudes on the No Agenda stream. You know who I'm talking about. The Flight of the Conchords. So they were also on the Flight of the Conchords as, I think both of them, but at least one of them. But I think both of them were actually on as one-time girlfriends.
Yeah, I don't remember where I've seen the blonde, but the brunette was in Scrubs.
Yeah. And the blonde's been in a number of movies. Also, now if you want to go down this path on YouTube, there's another song.
No.
Yeah. If you really want to, go down the path, as it were.
I like the other Garfunkel and Oates. Pregnant Women Are Smug. That's another great title.
Yeah, that's another one of theirs. Yeah. But in a solo, the blonde Ricky, she did a song that I sent to Adam as well, and this one I didn't send to Ben because he's not there yet, but I sent to you. I think even it's called "Middle Age Love."
Yeah, I did see the link. I didn't watch.
Oh, you bastard! You didn't watch it. You should really watch it.
I'm beyond
That's
middle
the
age.
blonde chick from this group doing a solo song called "Middle Age Love,"
which Gene knows all about. It's him and his controller.
Yeah.
And a big screen TV.
Uh-huh.
That's all it's
I
about.
don't have a big screen TV, dude.
Well, you have multiple monitors. That's close.
I have big monitors. I don't have TVs.
They're kind of the same technology now.
Yeah.
You wear a sleep apnea
not
machine?
that big though.
I don't wear a sleep apnea machine. Do you?
No, but I think I probably should.
So, okay, that's different, I guess. You're like, but I should, so I should listen.
Most of my friends do.
That's the cool thing to do?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure if you talk to your doctor, he'd tell you should.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think they try to give that to everybody.
Any man in his 50s that is above average weight, they're going to tell you need a sleep apnea machine.
Yeah, you need this so you don't die in your sleep.
Yeah. And I tell them, what I really need is one of these during the day so I remember to breathe while I'm awake.
Wait, do you often forget to breathe while you're awake?
I do. It's become annoying. I will tell you that. Is that I sometimes forget to breathe while I'm doing things.
I love watching the chart sometimes. Do Gene and Dude Named Ben record live? Do they want to record live on the No Agenda stream? Do we want them to do that? Asked Cotton Gin. Well, I think it was a scheduling conflict usually for when you're recording, because you record.
Yeah, it's Saturday morning.
Which I think there was somebody else on the stream. Or is there still somebody on the stream Saturday? Or that was
10 a.m. Saturdays when we usually record.
The MMO show. There was something on Saturdays.
Something was going on, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they still are, though.
Mm-hmm.
Bemro says we don't even want this show live on the stream. Well, that's true,
There
too.
you go. There you go. It was always up to Ben. I told him that if I frankly don't know why this show is recorded live on the stream. If it was up to me, it would not be on the stream. It would just be Darren and I talking. But
which it is, whether it's on the stream or not.
Well, that's true, but you throw in the occasional sound effect, I think, because it's on the stream, like the pew-pews. But either way, I told Ben if he wanted to, then it's up to him to talk to the powers that be to figure out if it's doable and what he needs to do to make it happen. I'm not going to be doing that.
No, because OBDM takes the stream.
Either way, I thought I was permanently banned off the stream by Bemrose, like back when he
so
when
if
he had
they
a
take it at
conniption
11 a.m. Central, then you wouldn't fit anyway.
Who's at 11 Central?
OBDM, the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast.
Never heard of it.
I never. None of these shows you've ever heard of. And you're
Probably
more than
not.
welcome to come into the troll room, noagenda.stream. You have never been permafrosted.
No. I was permabanned from the troll room, but then I was also permabanned from live streaming by Bemrose.
Oh.
Because I'd sent Adam a letter saying, what the fuck? Why can't we stream when we want to stream?
You
and
didn't buy
Bemrose
enough
said,
sushi?
you're permabanned. You will never be on a stream ever again.
Was that before or after?
And Adam
you bought
said,
him sushi?
I'm not getting in the middle of this. I don't give a shit. You guys handle it.
He's like, I'm going to blow the whole stream up. I'm going to turn this stream around. Let me show you, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think streaming on X, we get more listeners anyway.
It doesn't. We've tried it, but that's okay.
Well, not for this show. No. I mean, for Ben and my show.
Oh, yeah. Just two good old boys. There's a much
because we did stream on
larger-
X for about 3 episodes. And then I had to reinstall some software, so we stopped doing it.
Oh, yeah. I still need to put the what software.
Well, and my thing was that while I have OBS on the PC and I do gaming videos on YouTube, which, by the way, I'm at 1,500 subscribers now. So,
woo! Is it all Russian propagandists?
Of course, naturally. But I record the podcast on the Mac, and I don't have OBS on the Mac. So.
Yeah, I'm having issues with Mix dropping audio in the middle of songs now. So that is
really,
yeah. Like I never had this problem under Windows.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's something with the VSync, which is just the stupid little waveforms that come in. I keep looking at the logs.
My guess is with that little tool thing that you use to create different channels for different apps. That's my guess.
No, that has nothing to do with streaming the music to the to Mix.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, though, that it's always like, oh, dude, open source software, it's the best, man. It's awesome, man. You have this big group of people. They can help you, man. It's awesome. Just post and then the people will tell you how to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Crickets. Posted like a week and a half ago.
Oh, you should post how to get the Motu working on Linux. You should post that.
Right.
You get some help.
Yeah, that's what some other people want. Like, nope, don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't run it under Linux. But I posted the error message that was in the log file, what it was doing, and like 20 people have read the thing, but nobody's responded.
Where did you post?
On mix.org, the support forms for
you should go
the
to
program.
the Mix Reddit page and post on there. They're much more responsive. They'll tell you that you're doing it wrong.
Right, always.
Always. That's the default answer on Reddit for anything you ask a question about. Oh, well, obviously, here's what you're doing wrong.
It's like, I thought everything's just supposed to work, man.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. And I was intrigued by the fact that fixing of the audio problems on the Mac, where Windows, the fix is increase the size of your audio buffer so it can handle the little glitches.
Right. Yep.
They're like the answer with the Mac is actually to make the audio buffer smaller because if it's too big, then the Mac thinks it's not important, so will then push it off. And you may have more problems. Like, well, that's just counterintuitive.
It's got to be right sized.
Right. It's got to be correct.
Yeah.
Where is the correct? And why? No, again, when you give somebody a very specific, you give the community a very specific error and say, well, how do you fix this? And nobody has an answer. It's like, well, thanks.
Yeah.
That's very.
Here, I'll give you a trick because you're doing it wrong. I'll give you a trick to finding answers. In your query question that you post for whatever it is you're trying to find an answer to, include the word solved. And that filters out all the nonsense communication about the topic from people that don't have an answer. So generally it is customary, it is etiquette to, once you've solved your problem, to then change the title of your original post, edit it, and put solved into the title, usually in brackets. And, this is standard on Reddit, standard on a lot of
but I'm still looking for an answer. Why would anybody with the answer ever read it then?
So, again, this is internet etiquette, is that when you've posted a question and then maybe the answer did or it didn't, doesn't matter, come from that location. But whatever it is, the proper way to act is to either do a reply back to yourself or edit the actual question with the answer that actually worked at the bottom of it so people can stop reading, and then change the title to include the word solved. So I'm telling you right now, if you limit your search to only whatever your question is with the word solved in as well, you're going to be finding many more answers and reading a lot less junk than if you don't include the word solved.
I just couldn't believe that AI didn't tell me what the fix is.
AI doesn't know shit, man. AI actually reads Reddit. That's the problem with AI.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is good at doing chapters, though.
It's pretty good at summarizing. And that's the thing. I was just on a call of a bunch of professional advertising people, literally people that are responsible for millions and, well, hundreds of millions worth of ads, talking about use of AI. And frankly, my use of AI for doing music was one of the more interesting uses of AI. Most of those people, the only thing they do with AI is they use it to come up with different adjectives and adverbs.
Really?
Mostly.
Like, you can do a lot more.
They use it for summarizing too. I think everybody uses it for that. But no one is doing any kind of fully automated, whiz bang, super duper stuff.
Hey, the music is at least interesting.
I think the music is getting better too. It's like the current generation is significantly better sounding. And I figured out some stuff about using the proper terms, which is very cool. And I've been playing around, but I haven't put anything out yet, for doing music without lyrics, but directing it what to actually do when composing music.
Is this your next career? You're going to be a musical artist with no skills?
First of all, I'll have you know I took 10 years of keyboard, so I do have skills.
You can play the keys.
I can play the keys, not very well. But also
10 years, it's kind of like the college experience for you.
Yeah, I think I started when I was 11 or 12. I played on some large church organs back in the day.
Oh, you played on some big organs?
Yeah, real big organs. Massive, huge, the biggest.
You can't even get an organ that size now.
Nope, not these days, that's for sure. Have you seen the pathetic organs they have now?
The organs, they are very, not good. Have you? We are going to make organs great again.
Exactly. But
just pitiful organs.
Yeah, and I've got old school mixers with motors in them to actually move the mixers on the physical mixer. No, but nobody does this anymore.
like
But back in the
automated?
day, that was like a fancy thing.
Well, yeah, so it could replay like when you were playing the music back through on tape.
Yeah.
Which made sense because if you were you see, and it's just amazing that this even worked back in the day where
Back when music was great.
back when music was much better, much more organic, where you see the guy sitting behind the board and making adjustments on the fly.
Yep.
Well, it's like, well, how else would you remember that? And so once you finally got it right, then you wanted to bounce that over to the final master. But how would you know? It's like, yeah, it's all done magically. And then it just moves like one of those old-fashioned player
all
pianos.
motorized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks cool.
Well, yeah, it's like, wow, look, he's got a mixing board.
Yeah.
He's moving the sliders around.
Exactly. But no, I think it's fun. For me, like this is the non-gaming activity that is my fun activity is
Playing with
doing
knobs.
the AI music.
Yeah. Now, with the AI music, I know the service that you're using does not do this out of the box, but there are be interesting to pull that into software that would then separate the instrumentation because then you get full control. You know, so you could pull out the guitar, you could pull out the drum, boom, you could pull out the bass, and then you could remix.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's ways to do that sort of.
If you need some vocals, I can give you some vocals, man. I have the pipes.
Yeah. You have pipes?
I have the pipes, man.
Well, get some work done on those.
Sweet child of mine. See, I mean,
yeah. So you could do a Jack Black, basically, it sounds like.
Oh, right. I could do heavy metal Elmo.
Oh, yeah, that is literally Jack Black.
Black, be great.
School of Rock.
Yeah. I dig it. That could be what this show is.
He's not doing well, that's for sure.
Well, Jack got himself all woked up.
He did.
And again, it's sad when people go that far over the edge.
I've said this forever, is that creative people that are musicians, artists, painters, you name it, actors, should just proactively stay out of politics. Like, don't listen to it, don't care, don't need to react to anything, you don't need to support anything, just have nothing to do with politics.
Right.
Just look at cute cat and dog stuff and don't worry about what's going on in the rest of the world. Because as soon as they do, they always end up tripping on their own feet.
Oh, yeah,
Always,
your life would be so
time.
much better not worrying about that kind of stuff. And it's just when people are then going to point out, because they don't know they're as ignorant of the world around them. Like Selena Gomez, I know she really felt sad when she made her video crying about all the migrants being deported.
Well, who's going to make her breakfast every morning? Well, of course she's sad.
Yeah, somebody's got to cut the lawn, all this. But when people point to the fact then, you see Selena Gomez and you're like, well, you do realize that Barack Obama deported more people than Donald Trump, right? Well, why weren't you crying then? I'm just curious. If you're so into this, if you are so invested, if you don't know that, it just shows you're a fucking moron or you don't care. And this again is just, we want a virtue
and we know what
signal.
category artistic people fall into. So look, you have your skills. You don't need to get out of your lane to get into politics. It's going to end badly. It always does. But hey, you're making millions of dollars a year. What do you give a shit?
True. I don't know why anybody would care.
This is why my rich friends, my actual millionaire friends, are all Democrats.
You're a billionaire
because they don't
now,
care.
I know.
They don't care. What?
You're a billionaire
only in
now,
rubles.
so the
Only in
millionaires.
rubles.
It's all in an account waiting for you in Moscow.
That's right. I have no access to anything right now.
I hear Trump's going to go visit Russia, though. And is Vlad going to visit here? Because wasn't there one of these things where there's like arrest warrants out for him for being a world criminal?
I know. Yeah. World police criminal. Yeah. I think there are. That's correct.
So is he going to come to America? Oh, my God. How horrible.
Yeah. It sounds like it. Sounds like they're doing
O'Reilly really hates Vlad. And he's the subject or one of the subjects in his upcoming book about evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back to Donald Trump when he was interviewed by O'Reilly. And O'Reilly gave him and I don't remember how long ago this was, but maybe it probably was one of the Super Bowl interviews in his first term where O'Reilly's giving him Vlad, he's a killer. And Trump looks at him. He's like, what do you think we are here? He's like, we have plenty of killers here. And O'Reilly was trying to make the case that Vladdy was worse. It's like, no.
Yeah. Look, there's tons of people that have Putin derangement syndrome. It's a real thing.
PDS, baby.
Yeah. PDS is a real deal. My dad has it. So I have family members that are suffering with it.
Well, it's probably a little different because your dad's Russian. So it's a different... O'Reilly,
I don't know how different that makes it, but
you have a different point of view.
What PDS is the same thing as TDS, which is an irrational based dislike or fear or whatever you want to call it of Trump or Putin or somebody else. Because if you look at what Putin has done for Russia, he is absolutely legitimately the most loved Russian politician in the history of the country, or at least, let's say, in the last 300 years of Russia. Because most guys that have been either tsars or presidents have been god-awful. I mean, compare what Putin's done to what Stalin's done.
Well, there's a
Stalin killed 20 million Russians.
Yeah. How many has Putin killed?
Yeah. Putin's mostly killed Ukrainians, so it's a good thing.
Well, and I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I would feel personally, because I'm not going to bring in marijuana or any other controlled substances, I would feel safer at this point vacationing in Moscow than I would in Mexico.
Mexico? Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely right. And that's not always been the case. You go back 15 years, 20 years, vacationing in Russia was more dangerous. Vacationing in Mexico was less dangerous. So times change. Right now, Russia has the highest percentage of Christians of any civilized country.
Is that by design? I mean, it was interesting because that was one of the big things with Putin.
I think it's a knee-jerk reaction, personally. I think it's the forced atheism that existed during the 80 years of communism that has led people to almost in a rebellious way to embrace religion. But the main religion they're embracing, obviously, is Christianity. Now, that's not to say there aren't some Muslims in Russia. There are on the southern parts of Russia. Absolutely, there are Muslims. And I'm sure that there are even some Buddhists on the far east side of Russia as well.
Billy Bones says, as a cracker, you can definitely blend in easier in Russia.
That is totally true. If you watch videos of sort of people on the street walking around, there are very few Asians and almost no blacks.
And Surly Mofo says Russia is safer than Mexico or Trenton, New Jersey.
That I don't know what specific happened in Trenton, but I wouldn't be surprised.
And DigiGuru wants to remind everybody that Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly are his two favorite news sources. Or
okay, Boomer.
Yeah, he says, or two bullshit asshole blowhards, as he says. But I know that means he likes them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you should.
I've never liked O'Reilly. Not O'Reilly. I've never liked Sean Hannity because he always had that sort of, I don't know,
smug Irish look.
But there's something about him that's very
smug,
dislikable.
Yeah, there is. And I've never watched
what I'm
Hannity.
talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's
O'Reilly.
Really...
I will say O'Reilly I probably liked more than Hannity.
He's
but
easier
I also,
to digest.
Yeah. Like he seemed like he's a little more rational and a little less just touchy-feely. But also O'Reilly, I always still knew in the back of my mind that he's still a Democrat posing as a Republican. Because you can't be friends with Jon Stewart without being a Democrat. It's literally impossible. He tries
to be honest. I mean, he might be the only person ever at Fox who really meant the fair and balanced thing. And he has his blind spots, no doubt. But as far as nightly news, I was not and have not been a nightly news watcher for decades. But when the COVID thing hit, O'Reilly's who I start watching, and it's a 44-minute broadcast with a few commercials that I skip through. So it's like a 35-minute broadcast 4 times a week, and that's where I get my news, mainly.
The only guy that I thought was truly fair and balanced was, oh, great, I'm having a senior moment here. I'm making out. It was, the Larry King.
Ah, Larry. He was a libby.
Because he really, truly interviewed everybody with a completely blank slate.
Well, he's kind of the Rogan of his day. He was the guy that interviewed
Rogan. You're
everybody.
absolutely right. That's a good point. I don't know if anyone's ever said that before, but you're absolutely right. He was the Rogan. He was the guy that if you went and you got interviewed by him, that could make your career.
Yeah, and he listened. I mean, he wasn't an interrupter. He was very good at
as
listening.
long form as broadcast TV can get.
It was good stuff.
It was 1-1. Yeah. And I've always enjoyed listening to him. And you know, much like Johnny Carson, I think he had like 6 wives.
Hey.
Over the years. So he had to work until he was dead.
And how many wives have you had?
Pay all the alimony. Yeah.
How many wives have you had?
Oh, I was smart enough to stop at 1, man. Can't afford more than 1 doing a podcast. I'm just going to start talking over the music, I think.